What's going on, guys? B Scott here with you on today's show. We got your quarterback sit starts heading into week number 8. We got some guys on bye, so I'm going to give you all the starts, must starts, some sits, and some stream options this week. So keep it locked and loaded right here at the First 4 Downs. What's going on, guys, and welcome back. As I mentioned in the preview, we're going over your quarterback sit starts heading into week number 8. So before we get today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff, and then comment. Obviously, I'm not going to hit every single quarterback, but I'm going to touch on a lot of them. So if there's a quarterback I missed or you want to hear more about, drop in the comment section. I'll be glad to give you my opinion on any quarterback or any sit start question heading into week number 8. So let's start with the must-start quarterbacks. These are my top 12 quarterbacks that I would just be starting on a weekly basis anyway. I'm just going to run through them really quick. So first off, Tom Brady at the New Orleans Saints. Not a great matchup, and he played very poorly against these Saints last season. The Saints giving up second fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks on the season, but Brady is the number one quarterback heading in to this matchup, and you can't sit him. So Brady's an obvious start. Kyler Murray on Thursday Night Football playing the Green Bay Packers. You're starting Kyler Murray no matter what setting. Forget it. Same situation, number 2 in fantasy points. So Matthew Stafford playing the Houston Texans. Matthew Stafford's a top 5 quarterback on the season, playing great, and the Houston Texans, their defense isn't very good, so I'm starting Stafford here. Patrick Mahomes, we had a terrible game, honestly, against the Tennessee Titans. Did not look pretty at all. But now they're at home. They get the New York Giants coming to town, and you got to be starting Patrick Mahomes. You draft him as your quarterback 1, you're going to be starting him. Jalen Hurts, honestly, a top 5, top 7 fantasy football option, but for regular football, he's not very pretty. And the Philadelphia Eagles aren't going to win a lot of games. But for fantasy purposes, Jalen Hurts is always a top 10 option every single week with the rushing ability. And he's got the Detroit Lions this week, so you're starting Jalen Hurts. Josh Allen, he's playing the Miami Dolphins. They tend to score about 50 points on average versus these Dolphins, so you're starting Josh Allen. Set it and forget it. Joe Burrow, been great on the season. 2+ touchdowns every single game. Coming off a huge win, 400 passing yards, 3 touchdowns against Baltimore Ravens. Playing the Jets. Now the Jets give up the 9th fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks, but obviously Mac Jones just last week cooked him up. And you're starting Joe Burrow, in my opinion. He should be close to a set and forget it every single week also. Dak Prescott playing the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings defense actually hasn't given up a lot of fantasy points to the quarterback position, but it's Dak Prescott. So you're starting him. That offense, especially coming out of the bye, should be humming as long as he's healthy. Dealing with that calf strain, you'll have to wait and see. Justin Herbert playing the New England Patriots. Not a great matchup, but you're starting Justin Herbert. He's great. Kirk Cousins. Now, playing the Dallas Cowboys, giving up the 9th most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Coming out of a bye. His pass catchers are healthy. Dalvin Cook, hopefully, that much more healthy. And they're at home. So I like Kirk Cousins this week as a start. Honestly, he's a top 12 fantasy option. So I like him as a start here. Carson Wentz, playing the Tennessee Titans, give up the 6th most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Carson Wentz has 2+ touchdowns in 4 straight games. And Carson Wentz has played good. His only real bad game was against these Titans in Tennessee. Now it's flipped around. It's in Indianapolis, and I like Carson Wentz as a start this week. Aaron Rodgers, I have him right into my 12. He's playing the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals defense has been very good, but they've also played 3 rookie quarterbacks in Trey Lance, Davis Mills, and Trevor Lawrence. So how great that defense is against the quarterback position, I'm not so sure, but Aaron Rodgers might be without Devontae Adams on Thursday Night Football. That really lowers his stock, and in my opinion, it's going to be tough going in on a short week without his number 1 pass-catching option to get it done against Arizona. So Aaron Rodgers is right there on that start-sit for me. If you have another option, if you have one of these guys and you're lucky enough to have Aaron Rodgers as your QB1, maybe you'd be leaning towards one of these other quarterbacks ahead of Rodgers just this week. Now we are on to some sits. Quarterbacks that I think you should be sitting. Sam Darnold. You can't start him. You got to continue to sit him because he's playing absolutely terribly. He actually has a friendly matchup as the Atlanta Falcons give up a lot of fantasy points to the quarterback position, but I just can't trust Sam Darnold at all. He's on my sit list until I can see something otherwise. Got benched last week in his game. That's not good for the mentality going forward, so I don't like Sam Darnold this week. Mac Jones actually has been playing pretty well over the last few weeks, and you've seen an increase in a lot of his pass attempts, and honestly, getting it done for fantasy a decent amount. 2 touchdowns, 250 to 300 yards is what he's averaging, close to it. So, but it's not a good matchup. If you had to stream a quarterback this week, I wouldn't be streaming Mac Jones. Playing the Los Angeles Chargers, give up the 5th fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks and just 9 touchdowns total to the quarterback position. I don't like Mac Jones this week. So, Taylor Heinicke, another guy I'm sitting at the Denver Broncos. Now, the Denver Broncos defense has really fallen apart, kind of like the Carolina team, just fallen apart. but they still have given up the fourth fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks. Taylor Heineke traveling into Mile High. It's not a good spot here. I haven't liked him over the last couple weeks. He's really struggled. So Taylor Heineke is a sit for me this week. And then Tua. Honestly, he's throwing the ball a ton. So I liked him as a stream option in plus matchups. But on the road against the Buffalo Bills, coming out of a bye, not a good spot. Give up the fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks. And really, I think the Miami Dolphins are going to really struggle this week against a tough Buffalo team. It is what it is. So I'm sitting Tua this week. Now I got some stream options. Ryan Tannehill is a stream option now, not even really a set it and forget it starter. But playing at the Indianapolis Colts, his one game this season with multiple passing touchdowns, it was against this Colts defense. And the Colts defense has picked it up a little bit as of late, but you can't really judge against the rain game and the San Francisco 49ers. You can't really judge it against Davis Mills the week before. So I like Tannehill this week as a potential start stream option heading into week number 8. And then I like Teddy Bridgewater this week. Now, yes, he's been up and down, but he's still putting up consistent fantasy numbers. Now, he gets the Washington football team give up the most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Jerry Jeudy should be back in this game, should help the passing game, plain and simple. So I like Teddy Bridgewater as a potential stream option this week. And then Matt Ryan playing the Carolina Panthers. Now, the defense, if it was the defense of the first couple weeks, I would say maybe stay away from it. Matt Ryan's played great. He's averaging over 40 dropbacks on the season, 2+ touchdowns, 5 straight games. And Carolina, like I mentioned, the team as a whole is kind of falling apart. So I like Matt Ryan as a potential stream option at home this week. And then Daniel Jones, my last stream option. If you got to take a chance, he is playing the Kansas City Chiefs. Give up the second most fantasy points to quarterbacks. They've given up 4 rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks, and Daniel Jones can make some work with his legs. So I like Daniel Jones as a potential stream this week, albeit pay attention to the pass catchers for the New York Giants. If Kenny Golladay were happen to be able to play, or Sterling Shepard, or Kadarius Toney, these guys, if a couple of them can get on the field, I like Daniel Jones that much more in a potential stream option, considering the shootout potential, and the Kansas City Chiefs just haven't looked good, especially on defense. So Daniel Jones, if you really got to take a chance and roll him out there, I like him as a streaming option heading into week number 8. So that has been a quick rundown of all the quarterbacks that I like, must starts, some sit options, and some stream options for this week in fantasy football. So if you like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff, and then comment. If you want to hear about a quarterback that I didn't mention, because I didn't mention all of them, drop it in the comment section. I'll be glad to give you my advice. So for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott, and I'm out.